Good morning and welcome. On behalf of the members of the Marshall University Board of Governors, faculty, staff, and our newest graduates, I welcome you to the 171st commencement exercises of Marshall University. For those in the audience, please rise for the singing of the national anthem by Kristen A. Pino, bachelor's degree candidate, and then remain standing for the invocation by Dr. Stan Maynard, Professor of Education.
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this day, its challenges, its blessings, its opportunities. All are gifts of choices, a choice to accept the challenges or run from them, a choice to accept the blessings or pretend they are not there, a choice to accept the opportunities or believe they are problems and give up. Help us to see our choices as your request of us to do something significant in the lives of our families, our town, our state, and our nation. Father, you've given these men and women choices to make this day and in the following days, choices that can change this state of West Virginia and this nation into a beacon on a hill for those who are afraid to accept their challenges. Give these men and these women time to pause and appreciate their marvelous gifts, this rare opportunity to be your vessels in this unique vineyard. Help them to make of West Virginia and this nation more than we think we could ever become. Help them to make of us a band of brothers and sisters who believe that we are capable, not dependent. We are gifted, not deficient. We are West Virginians and Americans, not separate interest groups who never found our true purpose. Lord, this prayer is not lifted up today to make you aware of our situation as a state or nation. We know you already know our needs, that we lift this prayer to fervently plead, to be your voice, your hand, your arms, to tell, to touch, and embrace our state and nation, and let everyone know that their choices today are your gifts, gifts to make us a united people. Father, I pray that we open our gifts today with great anticipation and humility. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Professor Maynard. We are honored today by the presence of several members of our Board of Governors. This board is the governing body of Marshall University, which means that the authority for decisions involving fiduciary, capital project, and governance matters rests solely with the members of this board. Appointed by the governor of the great state of West Virginia, its members are Robert L. Schell, Jr., Chairman; Verna K. Gibson, Secretary; A. Michael Perry, past Chairman; Gary Atkins; Letitia Neese Chafin; Michael J. Farrell; John G. Hess; Virginia King; Brent Marsteller; General Harley F. Mooney, Jr., Susan K. Richardson; Michael G. Sellards; Gary G. White; Monica G. Brooks, Faculty Representative; Sherry Noble, Staff Representative; and Christina Fiello, Student Representative. Christina is actually graduating today. Will the board members in attendance today please rise and be recognized? Thank you very much. In this section over here, we have a number of distinguished guests. I'm not going to read all their names, but if they would please rise and be recognized. Please rise. Thank you very much. Included among them is the First Lady of Marshall University, my dear wife, Jane Kopp. Jane, where are you? There you are. We thank each of you for joining us today to honor our graduates. The members of the platform party seated behind me will be performing specific roles as part of this ceremony and will be introduced as we proceed through this program. Before we address our most important duty here today, which is the conferring of degrees, I will take just a few minutes to introduce some very special graduates. Their stories are engaging testimonies of personal triumph, perseverance, and dedication, often despite great odds. Kellyanne Billingy is with us today. Kellyanne, please rise. Kellyanne came to Marshall University 4 years ago from Trin City, Trinidad, to play volleyball. She came with outstanding credentials, having been named Player of the Year, Best Attacker, and Best Server in the A Division of the top league in Trinidad in 2002. That is a tough act to follow, but Kellyanne did not miss a beat here at Marshall University, performing at an amazing level for 4 consecutive seasons. At Marshall, she was a 4-time All-American and 3-time Conference USA Player of the Year. Her coach, Mitch Jacobs, dubbed her Special K during her first year at Marshall when she earned Mid-American Conference Freshman of the Year honors. Statistically, Kellyanne had a school record 2,481 kills and led the nation in kills per game her junior year. Most importantly, however, she is here today with us graduating with honors. On the court, she was a dominating athlete and one of the greatest players in Marshall history. Off the court, Kellyanne is a soft-spoken and humble person. Kellyanne will tell you that the success she has enjoyed so far is a testament to the way she was raised by her mother, Alicia, who is here today from her home in Trinidad. Happy Mother's Day, Alicia, and congratulations, Kellyanne. Megan Elizabeth Wallace of Point Pleasant, West Virginia is here today, and I would like for her to stand. Today, Megan will receive her Master's of Business Administration degree just a year and a half after earning her undergraduate degree here at Marshall. She is a 2001 graduate of Point Pleasant High School and currently works as a graduate assistant in the College of Business at Marshall University. Now I would like to ask Barbara Lynn Saunders to please stand. Barbara is here today to receive her master's degree in secondary education. She too received her undergraduate degree from Marshall and works as a graduate assistant at the Mid-Ohio Valley Center in Point Pleasant. She plans to continue teaching in Mason County, which she has done for several years. You might be wondering why Barbara and Megan are standing together. They are mother and daughter. Barbara is the mom. Megan is her daughter. Happy Mother's Day, Barbara, and congratulations to both you and Megan. Today, Lou Capaldini is receiving his Master of Arts degree in secondary education. Lou, will you please stand? Lou plans to use his degree to land a full-time position teaching music at a still-to-be-determined school in the tri-state area. Yes, Lou is looking for work at 81 years of age. Fantastic, Lou. A native of McDowell County in West Virginia, Lou enjoyed a long career in banking, not only in West Virginia, but in New York State and Washington State as well. Since retiring, he has been a substitute teacher for many years in Cabell, Wayne, and Putnam counties here in West Virginia and Lawrence County in Ohio. While pursuing his master's degree, he did his student teaching at Fairland High School in nearby Proctorville, Ohio. Our own director of bands, Steve Barnett, judged Lou's teaching and gave him high marks, acknowledging how very engaging he was with his students. Lou has taught music at all levels, from grade school to high school, from simple instruments to bands and choirs. He says he has a very clear idea of where he wants to teach with his new degree, and it is not geographic. I want to teach, Lou says, in a school where parents give a hoot. Lou says he very much appreciates the support he's received at Marshall while pursuing his master's degree. He plans to teach, he says, until they won't have me anymore. Lou says in his case, life did not begin at 40, it began at 80. And he says, you can teach an old dog new tricks. The secret is called knowledge. Congratulations, Lou, on a wonderful accomplishment. Will William Zachary Hampton please stand? While a student at South Point High School in Lawrence County, Ohio, William was able to earn an amazing 69 hours of college credit during his junior and senior years. He began taking the dual credit courses when he was just 16. The credits satisfied his high school requirements and transferred to Marshall University, where he finished his undergraduate work. Today, William will be receiving a BA degree in modern languages with a minor in geography. He's been rather busy this spring, carrying a course load of 21 hours while working 30 hours a week. William is graduating today, and he is just 20 years old. Congratulations to you, William. Will Taeko Matsumoto please stand? Taeko came to the United States from Hokkaido Island in Japan in 2002 with hopes of earning a nursing degree. Although she did not speak or understand English, she enrolled at Marshall University, determined to learn the language first and then to gain admission to the nursing program and earn her degree. Six years later, she is here today to receive her degree in nursing. Taeko is graduating with honors, and she recently was selected by her peers to receive the Spirit of Nursing Award, which goes to the student who classmates select as the student who best exemplifies the nursing spirit. On this special Mother's Day weekend, Taeko is accompanied today by her mother, Takako Matsumoto, who is here on her first trip to the United States. In fact, this is the first trip ever outside of Japan. Also here today is Taeko's cousin. Taeko has overcome many obstacles in the pursuit of her nursing degree, but she has done so while maintaining a cheerful positive attitude. And she's not yet finished. Sayako wants to earn a PhD degree, then teach nursing or work as an oncology practitioner. Congratulations, Sayako. You make us all proud. Will Reginald Patterson please stand? Reginald, who is from Nutter Fort, West Virginia, is one of the first two West Virginia State Troopers to earn his Bachelor of Applied Science degree with an area of emphasis in social policy studies through Marshall School of Extended Education. The West Virginia State Police initiated an agreement with Marshall whereby its troopers can earn a Bachelor of Applied Science degree at Marshall by taking classes paid for by the state police as long as they commit to 5 additional years of service here in West Virginia. Reginald and David Lee Robinson of Weirton, West Virginia, who could not be with us here today, earned their degrees this past December, and both are graduating with honors. We look forward to many more state troopers earning their Bachelor of Applied Science degrees here at Marshall through this outstanding program. Congratulations, Reginald. Megan Neal, will you please stand? When I learned last fall that the research of one of our biology students, Megan Neal, resulted in findings that not only could improve the quality of life for some people, but perhaps even save lives, I was extremely impressed and proud. Her work with Marshall University professor Eric Blau epitomizes what research is all about. What impressed me most was her command of her research and the problems she was investigating, which was well beyond the level typically associated with an undergraduate student. Her achievements illustrate the power of undergraduate research in the learning process. Through her research, which examined the effects of acetaminophen on microRNA expression in the aging heart, Megan discovered that low-dose acetaminophen ingestion may be very beneficial in reducing the incidence of age-associated heart dysfunction. This finding was a major accomplishment, one that has made Megan and her fellow researchers very proud. Megan was recognized for her research at the West Virginia Science, Technology, and Research Symposium in Morgantown, where she was named Best Undergraduate Researcher in West Virginia. In her spare time, Megan heads up the Teen Youth Program at Crosspoint Community Church in Huntington. Megan, who is from Shreve, Ohio, is graduating with honors and plans to enroll in the MD-PhD program in the School of Medicine here at Marshall University. Congratulations, Megan. Will Jim Alston please stand? Each year, the American Association of University Administrators recognizes 2 outstanding dissertations in the field of higher education or higher education administration. One of these honors is the Goodman Malamuth Dissertation Award, which this year was won by Jim Alston. Jim is here today to receive his doctorate in education from Marshall University. His dissertation, titled Survival of the Fittest, the Rebranding of West Virginia Higher Education, looked at the 11 institutions that went or are transitioning from college to university status over the past 30 years. Jim set out to discover if there were factors unique to West Virginia that could explain the proliferation of college to university restructuring. Jim is the Senior Academic Officer for Instructional Technology at a sister university here in West Virginia. In fact, he will be leaving here and heading back to Beckley this afternoon to participate in another commencement. He will receive his dissertation award in June at the AAUA conference in Salt Lake City. Congratulations, Jim. Will Amelia Boslow please stand? There she is. On January 22nd of this year, Amelia was driving from St. Albans to Huntington at about 7:45 a.m. when she saw a car lose control and overturn on Interstate 64. Instinctively, Amelia, who was on her way to class here at Marshall University, pulled off the highway to help. After stepping out of her car and dialing 911 to get help for the trapped victim, Amelia was suddenly struck from behind by another car who had lost control. She only knows exactly what happened from the accident report. She suffered multiple serious injuries. Amelia spent 4 days in St. Mary's Medical Center, 7 days in the Ohio State University Medical Center, and 6 days in the Charleston Area Medical Center before going home on February 7th. With help from understanding and supportive professors at Marshall, members of her family, and others, she managed, while rehabilitating from her injuries, to retain and complete 3 of the 5 classes she was taking at the time of the accident. Enough to be here today, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in graphic design. She also walked in here today on her own, without crutches. Amelia is accompanied today by several proud members of her family who know that what she did on that snowy morning in January, while heroic, came as no surprise to them. As she said herself, "I know I would want someone to stop for me if I lost control of my car." Fortunately, the person for whom she stopped to help was not injured, and Amelia is on her way to full recovery. God bless you, Amelia, and congratulations. Four years ago, Marshall University reinstituted its computer science program through the College of Information Technology and Engineering. Today, we would like to recognize the members of the first graduating class of the computer science program since the program was restarted. Many of these students are already working in sought-after jobs in the field of computer science and are not present here today. However, we are proud to recognize them. The first class includes Matthew Bailey of Huntington, Justin Bias of Pex Mill, West Virginia, Brad Fitzwater of Eleanor, West Virginia, Jeffrey Lennox of Westerville, Ohio, Philip McCabe of Huntington, Jeffrey Pratt of Cross Lanes, West Virginia, Christopher Taylor of St. Albans, West Virginia, Jeffrey Wheeler of Ashland, Kentucky, and Carson Williams of Lavalette, West Virginia. If any of these graduates are present here today, please stand and be recognized. At this time, I'm very pleased to present Mr. A. Michael Perry, past chairman of the Marshall University Board of Governors, who will bring greetings from our board.
Thank you, President Kopp. There would have probably been 2,000 other stories that President Kopp could have taken the time to give us on this exciting day. I'm glad he didn't. On behalf of the board, however, we would like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you for this important accomplishment in your life. 50 years ago, I was involved in a similar ceremony here at Marshall University as I graduated from Marshall many years ago, 50 in fact. It was a marvelous day in my life and the life of my family, just as it is, I'm sure, for many of you today. I was the first member in my family who had ever graduated from college. It's been an important thing for me to note in every graduation that I've been involved in. I would like to know, just from a curious standpoint, how many of you are the very first person in your family to graduate from college? Would you please stand? Yay, come on. Thank you very much. That's very much a part of who we are here at Marshall University. We make a difference in the lives not only of individuals, but of families. Because I think you would find when you go around and talk to us, those of us that were the first in our family, we have carried that responsibility proudly. And we have worked hard and diligently to make many other members of our family likewise honored graduates of institutions, many of them of here at Marshall. I would ask you to share this very special day, as Dr. Kopp reminded you, There are people here that have enabled you to be a part of this event. They may be mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, grandparents, aunts and uncles. You can't help from looking at all of the people who are assembled here today to celebrate this great day with you without stopping to realize that you wouldn't be here without the sacrifices and the love and the care that you have received from all of these wonderful people who are here to share that day and this day with you. So please today and throughout your lives, be sure to say thank you to these people. You owe this success in many respects to lots of people, not only to your loved ones, but to this dedicated group of faculty have committed their lives to providing you a life-changing education. I can assure you that your education is much better than you realize. 50 years of dealing with the competitiveness, I found my degree from Marshall University prepared me well for the challenges of life. I think you will do the same. And in large measure, it's as a result of the expertise and the ability and the dedication that these professors have bestowed upon you. And I think as each year goes by, you'll learn to appreciate their efforts even more so. At this stage, many of you probably are concerned about what your education has cost you, but it's been a fraction of what it would have cost you at a private institution or many public institutions. And that's another reason of another group of people that you owe your thanks to today, and that's the taxpayers of the state of West Virginia and the political leaders like Lieutenant Governor Earl Ray Tomblin and our governor, our Senate leaders and our House leaders. West Virginia recognizes that our future is determined by the ability of you to get a good education and go out and make a difference. And a large portion of our limited dollars goes to provide you an education. The balance of that funds in many instances are coming from wonderful people who will likewise be honored and recognized here today, Art and Joan Weisberg. They are representative of another group of people who are very much interested in your success and in your graduation, and that's our many alumni and friends who have invested and been charitable in making scholarship donations to assist many of you in getting educations, in making you the type of individuals that will make a difference and grow West Virginia into the type of places that we all want it to be. So on behalf of the board, thank you, congratulations, we're proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. I first met our commencement speaker and his wife, Joanne, in 2005 during my first year as president of Marshall University. I quickly surmised that they are both passionate advocates of higher education and have committed their lives to helping their fellow West Virginians achieve their dream of a better life through education. As the president of the West Virginia Senate and the lieutenant governor of the great state of West Virginia, our speaker serves the citizens of our state with distinction and pride. He is a native West Virginian and an alumnus of Marshall University. You will hear more detail about his background and legacy after his remarks, but I wanted to share with you why I believe he is the right person to address this assembly today. Our speaker is an outstanding consensus builder in a challenging environment where impassioned ideas often clash, yet he maintains an orderliness to the workings of the West Virginia Senate that ensure productive outcomes and that the good works of government are practiced during each session. An accomplished state leader, our commencement speaker works tirelessly, not just for his district, not just for the southern coal fields, but all of West Virginia. He is the personification of a servant leader. His open door and open manner invite constituents to interact with him and help shape the course of our government and, in turn, our state. I will share with you an excerpt from our Lieutenant Governor's acceptance speech when he assumed his present leadership position. Recognizing there are honest differences of opinion between persons of great conscience and among differing political views, we still must establish and maintain an open civil dialogue to seek the best remedy toward building the economy and advancing prosperity in our beloved state. The objective is to not only meet but exceed the needs of those who live here, as well as those who want to come back here to live in our home among the hills. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Senate President, Lieutenant Governor of the great state of West Virginia, the Honorable Earl Ray Tomblin.
Dr. Kopp, members of the Board of Governors, members of the administration and faculty, distinguished guests, fellow alumni, and members of the class of 2008. I'm pleased to welcome you, the sons and daughters of the great John Marshall, to the membership in the Marshall University Alumni Association, and to share with you the accomplishment of receiving your diploma, earned in your case in the classroom, and the one hopefully I may get later today as the result of the graciousness of the president and the staff of this very great and important University of West Virginia. 33 years ago, when I was sitting where you are now, I never imagined that this honor would be placed upon me. Thank you all very much, and to the graduates here and elsewhere, my deepest congratulations to you. My relationship with Marshall University goes far beyond that of Senate President, where I am involved in creating legislation and developing budgets. I not only earned my MBA here, but I found my bride here as well. And for that, Dr. Kopp, I will always be indebted to this school. Congratulations as well to Marshall University, whose grads will benefit from the Bucks for Brains legislation, which I co-sponsored along with the leadership provided by Dr. Kopp this year. I'm convinced that this legislation will become one of the greatest advances for the school, for Huntington, and for West Virginia, resulting in economic development through research. If we do little else in our careers, Dr. Kopp, this will be one of those achievements that we can look back on with pride, knowing that we work together in achieving a good thing. And to you graduates, you have achieved a good thing as well. As many of you in this hall today attended and graduated from schools from the small villages and towns of West Virginia, my background is no different. As a student at Chapmanville High School, about 50 miles up the Guyandotte River from here, relatively few of my classmates went on to obtain degrees, most immediately entering the job market, either in the deep mines of our rich coal fields or off to places such as Detroit, Cleveland, or some other industrialized city in the north. There was a popular question at the time which asked, how do you get 27 West Virginians in a Volkswagen Beetle? Answer, open the doors and tell them it's going to Cleveland. It will be full, and that's the way it was back when I left high school. Jobs were scarce, and not that many families emphasized getting a college education. Cultural barriers, economic pressures, and a general lack of encouragement and counseling were part of the cause of this neglect. But the world has changed much in these intervening years, with many more getting formal educations and training. There are challenges for the educational system. There are vast improvements in success rates, but we know that we have a lot of work to do on all fronts, both in government, academia, and in our homes and schools as well. As my mind, though, returns to the years when I went to high school and headed for that other university up north, I still remember the motto of my old high school: winners never quit and quitters never win. I call your mind to this old adage because it is the one thing your class has in common with mine, and that is the challenge to recognize and seize the opportunities which will present themselves throughout the course of your lives. One of our major problems we deal with annually, recalled to us each year at graduation time, is the outflow of educated young people to other states. Addressing the challenge of the brain drain is one of the highest priorities of the legislature and every facet of state government. I understand that by virtue of your chosen vocation, you may have to go elsewhere to seek your niche in life. But when and where you can, I ask you, I implore you to consider staying in West Virginia, to seek the opportunities which can be found here if you're dedicated to the challenge of seeking them out. You may find that it is easier to swim in this pond as a big fish than as a little fish in the big ocean somewhere else. I stayed and struggled at times, but I've never regretted not leaving these beautiful hills and valleys of West Virginia. The diploma you receive today is not a guarantee of success of any kind, but a tool to tap into the pipeline of prosperity which has linked this globe into an international community of commerce and intellect. It also represents to that competitive world that you possess a level of achievement and competency which allows you to enter the marketplace of employment with an advantage. Even that, however, is not enough. It will take your personal initiative and drive, and in like fashion, the collective efforts of your classmates to ensure you're a common part of this success and for that of the nation. Unforeseen and unique opportunities will come your way, and you will attempt to secure them. Some of you will succeed, and some of you will not the first time. If you find yourself in the latter of these two categories, the true test of your character will be whether or not you will allow yourself to remain defeated, or you will take it for what it's worth, a valuable lesson in life, and keep trying, building on the foundation of so-called failure. No one is a failure who picks himself up from off the ground and keeps trying. The only failures in life are those who quit, who stay down and give up. They abdicate their opportunity to win. One of my favorite graduation speeches, once given by a guy who did not quit, it was given by Winston Churchill, speaking to a graduating class. He said, "Never, ever, 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 ever give up and sit down without another word." He knew that the graduate with the true American spirit was one who wanted his diploma and then to go out and party later in the afternoon. Probably many of you think I should sit down now, but I'll keep going. The ability to begin again is one of the most needed, yet untaught skills in this competitive world of ours. Yet it has its own beginning in the heart, that part of us which keeps moving forward in the face of overwhelming obstacles. If you're looking for some advice about your future with any direction you may take, I admonish you to just keep on trying. But most of all, keep on learning. Regardless of the degree that you have earned today, education is more than a noun. It should be a verb and not one in the past tense. You have been educated, given the tools you need to begin. The education of life, of attempts at success, are parts of an active, ongoing process which ceases when our bodies have completed the task of our physical world. You will learn even more through experience, travel, going back to school, interrelationships with each other, and through the tried and tested method of success and failure. The most successful person here will be the one who has had to begin again several times, who has had to overcome the frustrations of trying, learning how to walk through the barnyard without getting anything on your shoes, and it can be done. You just have to learn when and where not to step. But it cannot be accomplished unless you take that first step of faith in yourself and in the combined knowledge which began at home and in the classroom. Consider for a moment those revolutionaries who came together in Philadelphia over 200 years ago, even with their own doubts and fears, pounded out the framework of a democracy and the new American nation. With few exceptions, they were young men, labeled as traitors with death warrants published against them. They had little more than a questioning and doubtful determination at times, knowing they faced the strongest military and maritime power on earth. Yet they pledged their lives, their reputations, and their fortunes for a cause that as many as half their countrymen had opposed: liberty from an overbearing monarch. Even our alma mater's namesake, John Marshall, was among those whose Federalist zeal and association with the great statesman and patriot John Adams provided us the yet greatest example of Yankee stubbornness and integrity as an envoy to France, and as well as bequeathing to us a Supreme Court which venerates his name today after 2 centuries of his absence. They remember him for setting before the country, and the world for that matter, that through our system of checks and balances, the court is the final arbiter of constitutional question through judicial review, trumped only by the will of the people to change that most important of Republican documents. He took a risk, and he made history. Where would this country be today, have you ever asked yourself, if Lincoln had not prevailed and saved the Union? What kind of country would we have become? At one point in his presidency, he stood nearly alone, his own party ready to make peace with the South and let it go its own way. He stood in the gap. He knew the Union had to be preserved at all cost. As a result, a new nation was born, ready for the time when it would be needed to defeat the enemies of freedom that we face today in the 21st century. The what-ifs of history are intriguing. Consider Franklin Roosevelt. Had he decided by the unfair cruelty of his crippling polio not to try to learn to walk, or to continue his quest for the presidency at a time when it would be required to end a Great Depression, or even later to muster the strength from a weakened body to lead the nation to save the world from fascism? FDR not only overcame his handicap, but he helped this country to overcome its fear of fear itself. Even today, men and women of vision seek to knock down the barriers which have, through the prejudices and unfairness of times past, prevented many of their forebears from achieving the potential of their calling. Each one of the remaining presidential candidates are barrier-breaking individuals. John Kennedy, who faced down death in the Pacific in World War II, faced down those who said he could never become president simply because he was a Catholic. Have you ever been told that no one in your station in life has ever accomplished the goal which drives you to succeed? Have you ever been told that it's impossible for you to attain the goals you have set for yourselves because it has never been done before? No doubt there are some of you who were told not to bother to attend college because you were not smart enough to get a degree. I'm thankful for all our sakes that you did not listen to those negative voices, but will continue to take a chance on yourself and to continue to be determined not to quit, but to always be a winner. It will be someone, maybe from the class of 2008, who will bring us America's next burst of freedom. And from what beachhead will it explode? Will it be from the world of politics, of social or religious reform, from science, perhaps, or it could come from the sweeping changes we witness every day in technology? Wherever and whenever it comes, there's no doubt it is coming because change is always present with us. The question is who will arise to meet the opportunity to seize the moment to bring us our next level of greatness. Graduates of 2008, I suggest that if you are willing, it could be one of you. Congratulations again, and thank you for having me here today.
Thank you very much, Senate President Earl Ray Tomblin. I'm pleased at this time to introduce our Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Sarah Denman.
On occasions such as this, the university is privileged to have the opportunity to publicly recognize outstanding individuals. Today, it is our pleasure to award honorary degrees to 3 distinguished individuals. President Kopp, on behalf of the faculty of Marshall University, I present Joan Meyer Weisberg for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Joan Meyer Weisberg is a talented businesswoman, devoted wife, mother and grandmother, philanthropist, partner, and volunteer. Perhaps one of the best descriptions of Joan, however, comes from her longtime friend, Clarence Martin, who says simply, "Joan is a pillar of strength." As a businesswoman, Joan co-owns with her husband, Art, State Electric Supply Company and Service Wire Company, and is owner and manager of 1206 Virginia Incorporated, a real estate holding company in Huntington. The inspiration of my life, as Art calls her, Joan is the mother of their five grown children and grandmother of 11, all of whom live either on the East Coast of the United States all the way across to the West Coast. With her appreciation of the inestimable value of education, Joan and Art inspired all of the Weisberg children to pursue their dreams at institutions of higher learning throughout the country. Joan serves on boards of directors in Huntington and Charleston, including those of the Huntington Museum of Art, Team for West Virginia Children, Clay Center, and Huntington Jewish Federated Charities. A staunch supporter of higher education, Joan and Art made possible through their generosity the Arthur and Joan Meyer Weisberg Distinguished Professorship in the Arthur and Joan Weisberg Division of Engineering and Computer Science at Marshall University. Joan and Art are members of the Marshall University Business Hall of Fame, and in 1998, the couple was recognized with the West Virginia Area Master Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Joan and Art are active, involved members, leaders, and philanthropists in the Huntington and Charleston Jewish communities and the State of Israel. Whereas Joan Meyer Weisberg always steadfastly supported the Weisberg family business ventures, which, like their family itself, continue to grow. And whereas Joan has been and remains heavily involved in helping to better her community through public service and philanthropy. And whereas Joan has frequently and generously recognized and promoted the critical role of arts and culture in the education of the individual and the life of the community. And whereas Joan has demonstrated her commitment to education through dedicated and generous support of Marshall University for decades, impacting past, current, and future students in many ways. Therefore, be it known to all that Marshall University hereby proclaims Joan Meyer Weisberg an alumna and an individual worthy of our esteemed respect and commendation. By recommendation of the Faculty Senate and by virtue of the authority vested in me by Marshall University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you, Joan Meyer Weisberg, the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, in token whereof Dr. Sarah N. Denman, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, will invest you with the hood symbolic of this distinguished degree.
President Kopp, on behalf of the faculty of Marshall University, I present Arthur Weisberg for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
It has been said that Brooklyn, New York native Art Weisberg had a healthy appetite for success some 5.5 decades ago when he founded State Electric Supply Company here in Huntington, West Virginia. Art, with his engineering degree from City College of New York in hand, began State Electric in 1952 as a one-man operation selling light bulbs, extension cords, and fuses out of the back of his truck to grocery and hardware stores. It was a rather inauspicious beginning, but today, under the corporate umbrella of Arthur's Enterprises, State Electric has grown to 41 branches in 5 states. In 1968, Art and his wife Joan established a specialty wire fabrication company called State Service Wire Company that today serves customers throughout the globe. Art Weisberg has been honored many times for his business savvy and philanthropy. He received the Charles D. Scott Distinguished Career Award in recognition of his service to the American wire industry in 1994. was named Citizen of the Year by the Herald-Dispatch in 1995, was inducted into the City of Huntington Wall of Fame in 1995, and with Joan was elected West Virginia Area Master Entrepreneur of the Year in 1998. Together, he and Joan were elected to the Marshall University Business Hall of Fame in 1996. The couple has displayed incredible generosity to Marshall University through the establishment of the Arthur and Joan Meyer Weisberg Distinguished Professorship and longtime financial support that resulted in the naming of the Arthur and Joan Weisberg Division of Engineering and Computer Science at Marshall University. Whereas Art has led by example as his and Joan's businesses have flourished, embracing change at every opportunity while placing service to their customers as top priority. And whereas the business success of Art and Joan Weisberg is truly a rags to riches story as Art's vision, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit, backed by Joan's unwavering support, made this American success story come true. And whereas Art's commitment to the community is proven by his service on boards of directors, including the Marshall University Foundation, and recognition not only by Marshall, but by other distinguished community leaders. Therefore, be it be known to all that Marshall University hereby proclaims Arthur Weisberg an alumnus and an individual worthy of our esteemed respect and commendation. By recommendation of the Faculty Senate, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by Marshall University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you, Arthur Weisberg, the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, in token whereof Dr. Sarah N. Denman, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, will invest you with the hood symbolic of this distinguished degree.
Forget to kiss the president. I got to kiss the president. Remember that.
President Kopp, on behalf of the faculty of Marshall University, I present Earl Ray Tomlin for the honorary degree Doctor of Laws.
As West Virginia's longest-serving Senate President, Earl Ray Tomlin has continually demonstrated his commitment to fostering excellence and furthering the interests of the state and the citizens of West Virginia he has served so well for more than 3 decades. Beginning with his election to the West Virginia House of Delegates in 1974, he went on to the West Virginia Senate in 1981 and was elected Senate President in 1995, a post he has held since then. During his legislative career, he has built a reputation for strong leadership, fairness, and consensus building. A native of Chapmanville in Logan County, West Virginia, Senator Tomlin began his career as a public school teacher while also developing private business interests. He is recognized nationally as one of the country's most capable and knowledgeable legislative leaders and a lifelong advocate for educational technology and a progressive educational system. He has sponsored a number of important legislative initiatives, including the School Building Authority, the state's Rainy Day Fund, tort reform, coal mine safety legislation, and most recently, the Bucks for Brains legislation to create the West Virginia Research Trust Fund. Senator Tomlin graduated from West Virginia University in 1974 and later earned a Master of Business Administration degree from Marshall University. His wife, Joanne Yeager Tomlin, also a Marshall University graduate, is president of Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College and a distinguished Marshall alumna. Their son, Brent, will be a senior next year at Senator Tomlin's alma mater, Chapman High School. Whereas Earl Ray Tomlin has devoted his life to the service of the citizens of West Virginia, and whereas he has demonstrated a strong work ethic, an ability to bring groups together, and a willingness to make difficult decisions to best serve the people of West Virginia, and whereas through his public service and his personal commitment to excellence, he has brought honor to Marshall University. Therefore, be it known to all that Marshall University hereby proclaims Earl Ray Tomlin a distinguished alumnus, and an individual worthy of our esteemed respect and commendation. By recommendation of the Faculty Senate, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Marshall University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you, Earl Ray Tomlin, the honorary degree Doctor of Laws, in token whereof Dr. Sarah N. Denman, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, will invest you with a hood symbolic of this distinguished degree. We are all here today to honor our graduates. But before we do so, please join me in recognizing and honoring the faculty of Marshall University. Without their dedication and devotion to your success, this day would not have been possible. This commencement ceremony is the result of the efforts of our faculty to provide our students with challenging, high-quality educational experiences that prepare them for the success that will follow well into the future. They are the heart and soul of this university, and I am very proud to be associated with them. Will all of the faculty present here today please rise and be recognized? At this time, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Larry Stickler, Chair of the Faculty Senate.
This is a proud day for the graduates of Marshall University and their friends and family members. You have reached a major milestone in your career. We have 17 faculty members who have also reached a milestone in their careers, that milestone of retirement. They represent 528 years of service to Marshall University and have taught well over 105,600 students. Please hold your applause until I read the names, and retirees, if you will stand when I read your name. Dr. Gary Anderson, Chemistry, 27 years of service. Dr. Elaine Baker, Psychology, 36 years of service. Dr. Robert Barnett, Exercise Science, Sport and Recreation, 36 years of service. Dr. Blaker Bowling, Management and Marketing, 23 years of service. Dr. Stephen Cups, Political Science, 35 years of service. Dr. Robert Edmonds, Communication Studies, 27 years of service. Dr. Thomas Ellis, Psychology, 6 years of service. Ms. Pam LaFord, University Libraries, 33 years of service. Dr. Robert Forget, Accountancy and Legal Environment, 18 years of service. Dr. Ron Gain, Biological Science, 39 years of service. Dr. Mary Etta Height, Biological Science, 32 years of service. Dr. Carl Johnson, School of Education, 33 years of service. Dr. John Larson, Chemistry, 40 years of service. Dr. John McKernan, English, 37 years of service. Dr. Charles Peel, Mathematics, 40 years of service. Dr. Tony Williams, School of Education, 37 years of service. And Dr. Gary Wright, Physiology, 29 years of service. If you will recognize their retirements. We also have award-winning faculty today that join a list of previous winners of Distinguished Teaching, Research, and Service Awards. Faces of Appalachia Award, Catherine Rodier, if she will stand. Distinguished Service Awards, Martin Amerikaner, Robert Barnett, Catherine Cheesek, Ron Childress, Stan Maynard, Tony Williams, Gary Wright. Outstanding Graduate Advisor Award, Tom Hankins, Thomas Pauley. Distinguished Artists and Scholars, Yoram Elitzur, William Palmer, Rhonda Sturgill. Pickens Queen Teaching Award, Del Kroll, Philip Rutherford, David Winter. Marshall and Shirley Reynolds Outstanding Teacher Award, Evelyn Publicodi. Charles Hedrick Outstanding Faculty Award, David Mills. Faculty Merit Foundation of West Virginia Professor of the Year Award, Montserrat Miller. If you will recognize the award-winning faculty. Graduates, the faculty have deemed you worthy to receive your degrees. Make no mistake, Marshall graduates received their degrees the old-fashioned way. They earned them. Best wishes to all in your future endeavors, and thank you from the faculty.
At this time, we want to recognize those individuals who have achieved a very high level academically at the undergraduate level during their years at Marshall University. Actually, that's what this day is all about. It's about the students. And as I ask each group to stand, I want you to join me in congratulating them. We're first going to recognize the associate degree graduates with high honors. High honors is a grade point average of 3.7 to 4.0. So will those students with high honors, associate degrees, please stand. And those with honors, which is 3.3 to 3.69, would they stand at this time, please? At the baccalaureate level, honors are divided into three areas. The first is cum laude with a grade point average of 3.3 to 3.59. Will all cum laude graduates please stand? Thank you. Magna cum laude, 3.6 to 3.84. Would all the magna cum laude graduates please stand? The highest honors, summa cum laude, 3.85 to 4.0. Would the summa cum laude graduates please stand? Thank you. This year at Marshall University, we have 16 students who have completed their degrees with a perfect 4-point grade point average, 15 at the baccalaureate level, and 1 receiving an associate degree. Now that means that these students never received anything but an A in every course that they have taken. And for May graduates, this GPA is tentative, pending those final grades, but I have a feeling those final grades will all be A's. I'm going to call their names and ask that each of the 16 to please stand, and after they all have been named, let's give them a round of applause. First, Karen Elizabeth Boney, Lindsay Marie Cushing, Holly Elizabeth Harris, Susan Elaine Harvey, Caitlin Marie Holliday, Justin Michael Kearns, Allison Marie Kleiner, Joshua Aaron Lynn, Kayla Jean Melchiori, Catherine Lee Mon, Lauren Michaela Perry, Jody Marie Pitzenberger, Alicia Marie Zaril, Justin Michael Simpson, Daniel C. Teeters, and the associate degree, Laetta Ray Brillhart. Will you please stand for a well-deserved round of applause? I would like to remind all of our graduates, as you prepare to leave today, that you leave today as Marshall alums. And the institution has a song in your program that we will sing later called the Alma Mater. I would turn your attention to that you pay attention to the words, and particularly the words that encourage you to make sure that you honor your alma mater. And the way that you can honor it is to always honor right and conquer wrong. Now, being a child of the 60s, one of my favorite poets is a man named Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan wrote a song that I would like to just share a few of the lyrics from that song. I think is the wish of all of the faculty and all of the staff at this university would share with you today. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth with the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright, and be strong. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful, and may your song always be sung. But most importantly, may you always be forever young. Thank you. Now we're going to get to the part that everybody came for. We are here today to honor and award degrees to those students who have successfully completed the degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty of this university. We ask you through your attentiveness that you honor them with us. The candidates for the Doctor of Education degree will be presented by Dean Rudy Pauley.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Education degree of the Graduate College please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate College of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for the Doctor of Education degree.
Thank you, Dean Pauley. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree will be presented by Dean Leonard Deutsch.
Will the candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy degree of the Graduate College please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate College of Marshall University, I am pleased to present the candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Thank you, Dean Deutsch. Will the candidate please be seated? The candidates for the Doctor of Psychology degree will be presented by Dean Leonard Deutsch.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Psychology degree of the Graduate College please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate College of Marshall University, I am pleased to present the candidates for the Doctor of Psychology degree.
Thank you, Dean Deutsch. Will the candidates please be seated? Will all the doctoral candidates please rise for the conferral of degrees by President Kopp?
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and administration, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Marshall University Board of Governors and the great state of West Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree you have earned and to which you are entitled with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the graduates please be seated? And now, the graduates of the Doctor of Education, Doctor of Philosophy, and Doctor of Psychology will please proceed to the platform for the presentation of diplomas and academic hoods symbolic of their degrees. The Doctor of Education degrees will be presented by Dean Rudy Pauley.
Stephen Lee Brown, to be hooded by Dr. Dennis Anderson. Kimberly S. Cooley to be hooded by Dr. Rudy Pauley. Paula L. Flaherty to be hooded by Dr. Linda Spaddy. Carrie Colleen Lookaville to be hooded by Dr. Calvin Meyer. Deborah K. Mullins to be hooded by Dr. Powell Toth. Michael H. Murphy to be hooded by Dr. Rudy Pauley. Sherry E. Nash to be hooded by Dr. Jane McKee. James Alston to be hooded by Dr. Barbara Nicholson. Timothy R. Oxley to be hooded by Dr. Dennis Anderson. Betty A. Sias to be hooded by Dr. Linda Spaddy. Erica Point Zimmerman to be hooded by Dr. Michael Cunningham.
The Doctor of Philosophy degree candidate will be presented by Dr. Leonard Deutsch.
Devashish Desai will be hooded by Dr. Eric Blau.
The Doctor of Psychology degree candidates will be presented by Dean Leonard J. Deutsch.
Agnieszka Hornish will be hooded by Dr. Keith Beard. Crystal Jenkins will be hooded by Dr. Mariana Linz. Pamela George to be hooded by Dr. Tom Ellis. Lindsay Launder will be hooded by Dr. Mark Lindberg. Stacy Saunders will be hooded by Dr. Pamela Mulder. Margie Strojewski will be hooded by Dr. Mariana Linz.
The candidates for the Bachelor of Science of Civil Engineering degree in the West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Marshall University Cooperative Program will be presented by Dean Tony Sawilski from Marshall University and conferred by Edward L. Robinson, Chairman of the West Virginia University Institute of Technology Board of Advisors.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering degree in the West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Marshall University Cooperative Program please rise? Chairman Robinson, on behalf of the faculty of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Marshall University, it gives me pleasure to present these candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering degree.
Upon recommendation of the Provost and Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs and approval of the Deans and Faculty of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, and on behalf of the West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission, by virtue of the authority vested in me, I am pleased to confer upon each of you the degree of Civil Engineering, with all rights and privileges and responsibilities attendant hereto. Congratulations and best wishes for a satisfying, fulfilling, and productive life.
Will the graduates please be seated?
The candidates for the master's and ed specialist degrees of the Graduate College will be presented by Dean Leonard Deutsch.
Will the candidates for the master's and candidates for the education specialist degrees of the Graduate College please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate College of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Deutsch. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor's degrees of the College of Education and Human Services will be presented by Dean Rosalind Templeton.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree of the College of Education and Human Services please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Education and Human Services of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degree.
Thank you, Dean Templeton. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor's degree of the College of Liberal Arts will be presented by Dean Donna Spindell.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree of the College of Liberal Arts please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Liberal Arts of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Spindell. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree of the College of Business will be presented by Dean Paul Uselding.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree of the College of Business please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Business Administration at Marshall University, I'm pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Uselding. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor degree of the College of Science will be presented by Dean Wayne Elmore.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree of the College of Science please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Science of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Elmore. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor degree of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication will be presented by Dean Corley Dennison.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree of the School of Journalism and Mass Communications please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Journalism and Mass Communications of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Dennison. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree of the College of Fine Arts will be presented by Dean Donald Van Horn.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree of the College of Fine Arts please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Fine Arts of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Van Horn. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor's and associate degrees of the College of Health Professions will be presented by Dean Shorty McKinney.
Will the candidates for the degrees in Clinical Lab Sciences, Communication Disorders, Dietetics, Social Work, and Nursing of the College of Health Professions please rise? Provost Inman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health Professions of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean McKinney. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the bachelor degree in the College of Information, Technology, and Engineering will be presented by Dean Tony Zawilski.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree of the College of Information, Technology, and Engineering please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Information, Technology, and Engineering of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Zawilski. Will the candidates please be seated? The candidates for the Regents Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Applied Science degrees will be presented by Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, Frances Hensley.
Will the candidates for the Regents Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Applied Science degrees please rise? Provost Denman, on behalf of the faculty of Marshall University, I am pleased to present these candidates for their degrees.
Thank you, Dr. Hensley. Will the candidates please be seated? Now, I request that the entire graduating class of 2007-2008 please rise. President Kopp, on behalf of your faculty, I have the privilege of presenting the Marshall University graduating class of 2000, 2007, and 8. As each candidate has completed the requirements of their specific degree, I recommend now that the appropriate degree be conferred.
And what a great graduating class you are. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and administration, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Marshall University Board of Governors and the great state of West Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree you have earned and to which you are entitled, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, graduates. You may now move your tassel from right to left.
Please be seated. We will now present the master's, bachelor's, and associate degree graduates. We ask that you please honor our graduates with your attentiveness. Please hold your applause until all graduates have been recognized. We will begin with the graduate college and proceed in a continuous presentation from college to college without interruption. Reading the names of our graduates are Professor Robert Edmonds, Professor Cicero Fain, Professor Judith Silver, and Professor Harlan Smith. We will begin with the graduate college.
Alvelino F. Lima. Dale Dean Teeters. Rodney Lewis Adamson. Mallory Nicole Jarrell. Hook Lin Hong Nguyen. Tiffany Lynn Weaver. Shante Virginia Allen. Rylan Wayne Music Jr. Matthew Stephen DeMaria. Richard William Boyko. Nicholas Charles McClinton. Monica Lee Cooper. Mary Catherine Martin. Christina Renee Grochi. Aaron Ashley Mace. Tanya Renee Johnson. Carrie Beth Redmond Wade. Mary Elizabeth Vanscoy. Brandon Lee Miller, Donald A. Channel, Jason Christopher Mastrangelo, Connie Denise Baker, James Howard McKee, Kara Nicole Halsey, Mao Iotzi, Kristen Marie McRae, Dwayne Elvis Estep, Katrina Spaulding, Stephanie Francis Hurley, James Henry Clagg III, William Raymond Lilly II, Keith Kalen Palco, Beth Kalen Palco, Melinda Lou Schaefer, Emily Ann Brown, Sachiko Takata, Akayo Takata, Rebecca D. Sturm, Brenda Sue Harvey, Jennifer Rose Parsons, Eric Michael Akers, Susan Elizabeth Cook, Allison Lindsay Thorpe, Leah Dawn Connolly, Dilek Ingen, Jennifer Grace Crutchton, Heather Dawn Woods, Andrea Lynn Smith, Songli Ku, Yin Hai Tran, Tam Phuc Phong Tran, Van T-An Nguyen, Chanantan Van Pham, Carmen Jorge Collins, David Michael Lowe, Chevalier May Lynn, Joseph Chad Sturgill, Dana Andrew Lester, Sarah Massey, Cassandra Nicole Height, Natisha Dawn Robinson, Danielle Brooke Edmonds, Christopher Ryan Francis, Huanga Wang, Zhongjing Huang, Maui Lee, Yin T. Hong Tran, Ha Duc Nguyen, Sarah Grace Hammonds, Linda Carolyn Powell, Heather Michelle Jordan, Ashley Ray Nance, Tambra Michelle Pitt, Shauna Adkins Cox, Jill Ann Blake, Sharon K. Bailey, Donna Marie Burton, Melinda Jane Preston, Amy Louise Gruby, Jennifer Jo Sipple, Allison Nicole Massey, Mark Evan Davis, Buddy Carl Shad, Sarah Beth Jones, Bradford Earl Clark, Joshua M. Adisa, Indira Apia Minka, Carly Nicole Hillman, John Kenneth Bond, Christina Maria Tate, Joshua Glenn Iddings, Samuel Edward Phipps, Peter John Underwood, Christian Bartrimastraj, Christiana Brimida Station, Christina Elizabeth Foyo, Tu Nuk Lee, Lynn Huan, William Michael Morrison, Jacqueline Nicole Lamar, Melissa Sue Deal, Jenica Lu Ola, Shu Li Jin, Norman E. Davis, Kevin Brian Taylor, Timothy Robert Ferguson, Lee Ann Brewer, Abdelka Hafodi, Masur Alatabi, Ahmed Alassa, Aloysius Capaldini, Roberta Lynn Hall, Barbara Lynn Saunders, Megan Elizabeth Wallace, Holly Dawn Thorne, Sudafep Pagrusami, Trista Nicole Adkins, Amy Renee Blankenship, Bobby Jean Jones III, Jason Hayes Miller, Sarah Beth Hostetler, Jennifer Kelly Johnson, Casey Denise Arnold, Larissa Varamurchi Quinchai, Carlos Marcello Coster, Nguyen Qua Ban, Bong Thanal, Young Nguyen, Sophie Okamu, Leon Smith, Dante Pennington, Michelle Jones, Amy Brooke Danford, Genevieve Marie McCutcheon,
College of Health
Julia
Professions.
Lee O'Rourke,
Krista Lee Fry, Brian David Hopper, Adam Michael Henson, Ashley Michelle Porter, Ashley Megan Young, Monica Beth Dunphy, Makaya Amel Negmush, Mallory Ann Weaver, Brittany Nicole Goff, Stephanie Lynn Burns, Lindsay Brooke Kraus, Jennifer Ann Fogus, Jessica Ruthann Mayer, Rebecca Ashley Hay, Megan Danielle Howard, Lee Allison Ripley, Lisa Dawn Van Natter, Taiko Matsumoto, Tracy Nicole Shanklin, Cassandra Dawn Kimball, Stephanie Nicole Bain, Brandy Shannon Dempsey, Malia Joy Thomas, Sarah Dawn Anderson, Delcy Cisco Justice, Amber Nicole Dunn, Molly Catherine Earp, Catherine Marie Henderson, Carmelita Hope Christian, Tanya K. Webb, Tanya Renee Call, Angela Rose Roberts, Bridget Ann Montgomery, Angela Marie Hager, Whitney Diane Rakul, Callie Michelle Reffett, Katie Lynn Swan, Gregory James Gibson, Chastity Lynn Yates, Melissa Dawn Muncy, Yvette Elaine Hera, Rachel Elaine Tucker, Amber Nicole Rainey, Nathan Corey Campbell, Stephanie K. Jeffers, Dawn Marie Stevens, Brianne Ray Willis, Lisa A. Johnson, Alyssa Marie Zarelli, Mallory Jean Evans, Whitney Lee Finley, Shauna Renee Hughes, Sarah Elizabeth Sturgill, Ashley Nicole Pence, Lindsay Marie Cushing, Joy Elizabeth Piles, Deidre Nicole Darst, Marissa Allen Slack, Kelly Renee Summerfield, Carolyn Elizabeth Banks, Caitlin Marie Holliday, Amanda Gail Williams, Tracy Nicole Girondo, Melanie Beth Knighton, Lauren Nicole Wyant, Courtney Rochelle Nelson, Megan Paige Dotson, Ashley Dawn Carr, Denise Jeffrey Taylor, Ashley Brown, Melissa Charlene Adkins, Sarah Frazier, Deborah Nadine Fisher, Brenda Jane Martin, Sarah Michelle Damron, Leslie Ann Henson, Jill Marie Graboski, Jessica Renee Nelson, Trista Marlene Ross, Susan Michelle Bonnet, Ashley Danielle Flores, Shauna Jane Newman, Bridget Chacon, Heather Elizabeth Meadows, Jessica Lee Green.
We now begin the College of Education and Human Services.
Raymond Michael Blevins, William Perry Clements, Kimberly Dawn Green, Joshua David Deerdorf, Catherine Diane Lynn, Patrick Corey Lynn, Robert Joseph Booth, Billy Joe Wright, Mahala Wiggins, Michael William Warren, Mike Lawrence Cullinan, Justice William Boyer, John Tyler Paisley, Kayla Nicole Gress, Clara Elizabeth Jones Ellis, Brian Richard Maxey, Martin Clark Biaggi, Emily Sue Stout, Megan Rose Bloomquist, Donna Gill White, Nessel Eileen Dalton, Benjamin Lloyd Harrison, Jason Lee Shopperjohn, Melody Sharika Hudson, Kashana Curry, Brian L. Ball, Jessica Nicole Andrew, Christopher Charles Carr, Tiffany Marie Sargent, Jillian Gabrielle Gore, Jennifer Lynn Boyd, Connie Nicole Boggs, Amanda K. Hively, Bethany Lee Markham, Brody Jordan Disbennett, Kristen Lee Stemple Hinchman, Tiffany Dawn Mellis, Amanda Nicole Baker. Amanda Marie Schweinfest. Stephanie Marie Kessler. Erica June Hardesty. Clara Chantal Damron. Caitlin Marie Moriarty. Stacy Renee Bean. Amber Louise Mace. Heather Dawn Buckner. Tara Elizabeth Knopfsinger. Joanna Nadine Rains. Lynn Holly Mays. Amanda Brooke Cooper. Thomas Charles Ponatowitz. Erin Elizabeth Hill.
Just a little slower.
Thomas Connell Johnson. John David O'Donnell. Orlando Cepeda Dowell. Michael Rory Martinez. Eric Matthew Barnes. Laura Ellen Costo. Andrew Bryant Blaine. Amanda Florence Copley Endicott. Joshua David Sammons. Ashley Whitney Poor, White Poor. Brett Allen Sanders. Casey Marine Polk. Adam Christopher Withrow. William Allen Gentry. Jeffrey Scott Zirkle. Megan Elaine Lincoln-Knocker. Megan Beth Lunsford. Jessica Renee Music. Erica Whitney Stone. Jessica Noel Priest. Stephen K. Staker. Thomas James Bickerton II. Amy Michelle Roberts. Connie A. Weber. Natalie K. Mayers. Kate Elizabeth Black. Nicholas Guy Smith. Jennifer Diane Branson. Susan Elaine Harvey. Amanda Catherine Stevens. Caitlin Grace Nelson. Hunter Zane Roush. Jessica Ann Baker. Amber Nicole Richard. Erica Lynn Watts. Jessica Lee Stosny. Kelly Nicole Polly. Jessica Dawn Wilson. Stephen Kenneth Speakman. Austin A. Bull. Michael Clay Mills. Amber Marie Churchill. Kessa Macon Walbrown. Callie Virginia Huff. Christopher Todd McDermott. Deanna May Holderby. Joelle Joycelyn Schoolcraft. Rebecca Marie Murphy. Joshua David Richardson. Abigail Price Bullard. Rebecca Jean Sloan. Danielle Lee Coleman. Jennifer Lee Johnston. Amanda Renee Martin. Shayna Marie Webb. Amanda Elizabeth Vaughn. Jenna Elizabeth Heslop. Christina Salyers. Carrie Lynn Thomas. Wesley McCollahan.
The Lewis College of Business.
Tony Yvonne Arnold. Brian Douglas Parker. Tori Jamal Marshall. Brendan Farrell Murphy. Odia Sean Oziegbe. John Brent Flint II. Charles Richard Reese Neal III. Jennifer Renee Schaefer. Cassandra Leanne St. Clair. Laura Elizabeth Hamrick. Edward S. Kelly. Eric Scott Bickoff. Andrew Seth Dawson. Ashley Nicole Radcliffe. Torrance Lamar Hyman. Megan Jo Neal. Melinda Sue Lendon. Clinton Zach Myers. Brandon Michael Klein. Kyle David Atwood. Robert Zach Corbin. Adam Ray Canterbury. Jason Ross Henry. Tao Tran. Tiffany Leanne Ross. Nathaniel David Boggs. Laura Curry Bays. Stacy Michelle Beck. Derek Andrew Struthers. Amanda Carol Kincaid. Lynette Jean Kaplinger. Ashley Nicole Hull. Daniel Bruce Frank. Evan Nelson. Kristen Huffstutler Piles. Katie Christine Conter. Travis Epling. Andrew R. Ramel. Erica Nicole Simpson. Jolena Rochelle Russell. Rachel Beth Lewis. Andrew John Scott Sakula IV. Alex Paul Brittner. Sarah Margaret Lucas. Tiffany Jade Wyatt. Andrew T. Foster. Cynthia Elaine Reed. Jessica Lee Mosley. Sean Michael Adkins. Kyle Lamont Eccles. Douglas Ryan Koenig. James Zachary Blatt. Berkeley C. Hughes. Nicholas S. Wally. Matthew Richard Helm. Eric James Anderson. Gwendolyn D. Cornwell. Nathan Isaac Harden. Ashley Marie Hurley. Brittany Shea Tracy. Sabrina Ann Evans. Kayla Marie Ball. Devin Joseph Casey. Matt Brodsky. James Edward Kuhn. Andrew Hogan. Lindsay Ann Warren. Dan Feng Liu. Matthew Wayne Rucker. Adam Nicholas Kaur. John Alexander Enman. Che Weston Moore. Ian Monroe Hoskins. Caleb Zachariah James Bradbury. Jared Ford. Stephen Baird Miller. Elizabeth Ashley Patterson. Nicole Rose Janik. Michael Patrick Doto. Heather Elise Burchett. James A. Waddle. Andrew Hunter Hammock. Stephanie Lou Circle. Cassandra Lee Chapman. Cassandra Nicole Barrickman. Melissa Ann Hall. Kaylee Brooke Thomas. Zachary Martin Williams. Brandon Matthew Nicholson. Keith Donald Schilling. Harry Ramnath. Ashley Nicole Scott. Sean R. Siders. Mandy Dawn Siders. Elizabeth Ann Pardue. Christopher Allen Giuliano. James Brandon Pino. Megan Lee Hughes. Krista Gibson. April Nicole Beiser. Holly Catherine Savory. Nolan David Mullins. Allison Marie Strong. John R. Cholinsky. Candace Stacy O'Rumi. Sheena Nicole Stacy. Zachary Clark Cowan. Christina Brumfield. Jennifer Shawnee Duckworth.
We now begin the College of Science.
Ryan Christopher Miller. Gregory Allen Genelis. Chetwishan Chawadi. Michael Hayden Antonelli. Morgan Parker McBee. Kristen Faith McKinney. Misty Dawn Blankenship. Victoria Elizabeth Smith. John D. Pennington. Justin David Carpenter. Kristen Renee McKee. Jared Thomas Brownfield. Zachary Thomas Grambos. Nathan Allen Wright. Jacqueline Lee Licklighter. Amberly Aiken. Tricia K. Kirk. Robert Naj. Patrick Joseph Riley. Devin Ann Tivener. Jessie Nicole Young. Megan Lee Neal. Tashina Marie Sevilla. Adam Edward Fannin. Matthew Ryan Dincher. Cody Thomas Tuttle. Sheena Clarissa Harper. Megan Nicole Ward Horn. Jacqueline Hannah Bowen. Jody Marie Pitzenbarger. Christina Lee Newsom. Hun Gao. Jenna K. Fields. Caitlin Nicole Gifford. Brittany K. Dingus. Garrett Ray Davis. Carrie Lee Ferguson. Jerry Ray White II.
I could see Leslie, but she's not here yet.
Rima Sudhir Patel. Amy Michelle Isbell. Lindsay Ray Kess. Dominique Chanel Elmore. Johnny George Walker III. Ashley Danielle Dills. Christopher Dwayne Taylor. William Hampton Muncie. Anthony Brian Justice. Saeed Keshavarian.
The College of Fine Arts.
Paul Franklin Bokel. Joanna Marie Donchaz. Samantha Jean Atkins. Amelia Ray Boslow. Christy Renee Costangi. Zachary Bruno Blank. Christopher William Sullivan. Patrick Michael Billups. Matthew Murphy. Whitney Lee Haynes. Courtney Suzanne Kiana. Kaylin St. Clair Cole. Casey Brooke Pauley. Jessica Ann Bright. Susan Rebecca Duran. Leah Nicole Turley. Jamie Lee Sams. Adam Dane Paul. Robin Lynn Helton. Elizabeth Maria Horrell. Kristen Ann Pino. Yuri McCoy. Sean Russell Sylvain.
The College of Information Technology and Engineering.
Jeffrey Stephen Pratt. Jeffrey Allen Lennox. Philip Lee McCabe. Matthew James Bailey. Matthew Thomas Withers. William J. Albin. Derek Charles Johnson. Stacy E. Wagner. Christopher Michael Coranta. Brad Patrick Fitzwater.
Regents Bachelors of Arts and Regents Bachelors of Applied Science.
Kai Cynthia Bean. Tarek Emaine Thomas. Taisha Marie Baskin. Jason Eric Peoples. Gina Louise Jeffers. Ada Louise King Herdman. Kara Lynn Martin. Evan Rossi. Margaret Kutara Chambers. Roberta Ann Hell. Johnny Russell Bradley. Han T. Nguyen. Karen Faye Davis. Pamela Ann Glover. Alicia Faith Emmerich. Billy Wayne Bailey. Wallace Bailey Hale. Tyson Joseph Smith. Stephen Edward Mahan. James Brian Hopkins. Brad Wesley Potts. Shantae Michelle Morrison. Johnette Renee Nelson. Catherine Marie Atkins. Karen Marie Blake. Jessica Marie Sargent. Brittany Nicole Miller. Allison Carol Evans. Teresa Lynn Atkins. Elaine Marie Chapman. Matthew William Bradbury. Angela Michelle Taylor. Akiko Suzuki. Reginald Patterson. Sam Marcus Weldon. Mamie Elizabeth Robinson. Ashley Ann Appel. Amanda Brooke Atkins. Watonia Hart. Tyrone D. Phillips. Mandy Jo Simpson. Joshua Lee Tregnon. Andrew Ryan Reed. Byron Lamont Tinker. Edith Jacqueline Murphy. Jennifer Suzanne Stewart. Mary Jane Whitfield. Dolores Ann Shepard. Ashley Alexis Gehring. Jessica Marie McFarland. Karen Beth Ramsey. James Franklin Flynn. Amanda Means. Rebecca Ann Kaufman. Randy David Ellis. Brian Witt. James Andrews Kinnear.
The College of Liberal Arts.
Hannah E. Corey. Cynthia Leanne Burns. Douglas Michael Evans. Nicole Don Good. Joshua Ryan White. Megan Cecilia Corley. Adrienne Marie Brown. Krista Lee Faber. Garrett Franklin Jagtonani. Jatianis. Thank you. Eric Grant Fannin. Rachel Nicole Blankenship. Heather Dawn Atkins. Quiniana Tiora Brown. Brandon D. Salder. Jenny Ray Atkins. William Zachary Hampton. Donise Francesca Wagner. Frederick M. Hayden III. Domika Joy Young. Anna Maria Lavender. Amanda Lee Stevens. Christopher Ryan Atkins. Anna Michelle Foran. Kelly Nicole Rydell. Michaela May Hanna. Miranda Jo Toothman. Amanda Dawn Jones. Sarah Ruth Board. Ashley Nicole Taylor. Ralph Joseph Hagee. Emily Faith Russell. Andrew N. Stevens. Johanna Griffith. Mary Beth Baldwin. Kayla Jean Milcorey. Tamara Lynn DeLong. Eric Goosen. Dana Marie Busso. Netta Wilmoth. Jeremy Ross Miller. Krista Nicole Nafatu. Jeremy Philip Schultz. Jesse Painter. Jesse Lee Huffman. Dustin Eugene Lors. James Barry Williams, Jr. Joshua Aaron Lynn. Paul Michael Turner. Sarah Elizabeth Terry. Ian Sean Hardesty. Kelly Dawn Lane. Shemaya Lynn Nicole Lewis. William Andrew Watson. Nicholas Kane Wellman. Megan Elizabeth Creamer Cremai. Olivia Manda Lambert. Natalie Nicole Colber. Alyssa Marie Kleiner. Amanda Marina Konchalek. Sherry Renee Pennington. Nicole Alexandra Sedlock. Nicholas Ryan Thompson. Harley Derek Walden. Joseph Merkel. Brett Brzezinski. Paul William McCallum. Jeffrey Allen Wiseman. Stephanie McDonald. Sandra Oline Frame. Emily Beth Warder. Jamie Kristen Ward. Kenneth David Oxley. Cassandra Lee Full Pittman. Karen Elizabeth Bonney. Jessica Diane Amos. Julia Marie Bastow. Tiffany Nicole Caldwell.
The School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Lacey Elizabeth Pearson. Melissa Eloise Newman. Cal Jacob Dyer, Brittany Morgan Tuig, Kimberly Ann Burcham, Jeremy Lewis Edwards, Andrew Philip Colgrove, William Franklin Craig, Alexis Victoria Stewart, Kenneth Cox Jr., Rachel Nicole Kaufman, Megan Denise Jude, Maura Jane Lee, Hallie Eplin, Kevin Rye Simpkins, Sarah Danielle Taylor, Michael Charles Storage, Leanne Marie Dickens, Matthew Joseph Hott, Christopher Reed C., Brandon Timothy Woolham, Catherine Hartley Phillips, Rachel Elizabeth Sargent, Cal Brandon Tallman, Andrew Torin Jones, Andre Torin Jones, excuse me, Tamara Rembert, Sarah Elizabeth Easter, James Neal Viltrano, Donald Will Sutherland.
Let's give all our graduates a round of applause. I would like to take just one moment to thank our commencement band, faculty, and students from the College of Fine Arts. Let's give them a round of applause. And now I'm pleased to introduce Nancy Campbell, President of the Marshall University Alumni Association. She will bring you greetings from your Alumni Association. You may be seated.
Good morning. I actually remember sitting where you're sitting here today, but as much as I would like to say it was just a year or two ago, it was actually 29 years ago. But it is a very strong memory in my mind, one of many that I took with me when I left Marshall University. And I hope that as you leave here today, that you take these memories with you also as you go out into the world. I want to wish you all the success that you deserve as you start this new phase of your life with your college degree. I look forward to meeting you as I travel to the various Alumni Association events across this country. I encourage each of you to use the Alumni Association as your connection to this university. We have all had a unique experience during our time here today and over the years that we've been here. This is an experience that ties us to this university. Do not lose that as you go out into the world. This is a very special university, and it gives us something very special as we spend our time here. I hope that you use the Alumni Association as your connection to this university, and that you stay very much involved in Marshall University. On behalf of the Marshall University Alumni Association, I am very proud to welcome you as our newest members. Welcome, Marshall alumni, and the best of luck.
Before we conclude this celebration, I wish to acknowledge and thank a very special person who has been an integral part of the fabric of Marshall University for more than 3 decades. This dedicated servant has graced the hallowed halls of Marshall University, always placing students in the center of her universe. She has tirelessly devoted her professional career to her beloved alma mater, Marshall University is a much better place because of her and her dedicated contributions. Today, she is taking part in her final commencement ceremony as Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs. Dr. Sarah Denman, please rise and accept our heartfelt thanks for all you have done for Marshall University and our very best wishes for continued health, affirmation, and happiness as you enter this chapter in your life. Sarah says, bring it home. So, thank you. As this circle closes, each graduate stands ready, prepared to confront a world of accelerating change and uncertainty. During your time here at Marshall, you have learned to observe the world through more discerning lenses, yet with eyes and hearts that see and feel with greater compassion, greater understanding, and greater insight about the complex challenges that lie ahead. Perhaps as you ponder your future, a modicum of trepidation tickles your soul. That sensibility bears attention. It will help keep you modest and compel you to keep learning. As you no doubt have discovered, learning for you involves all facets of life across this globe and is hardly an occasional duty. It will be an all-the-time affair for you until your time on this earth is done. Some final words of advice. Never settle for anything but your best for the people you serve. Continue to question and discover. Remain a curious child. Be true to yourself and to your loved ones. Inspire others by becoming a translator of dreams. Never mistake kindness for weakness, and take time to count your blessings. They are around you each and every day. I wish to leave you with a final reflection from a poem written by Jack London, who lived between 1876 and 1960, and is famous for a number of his books, including The Call of the Wild and White Fang. He wrote, "I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather my spark should burn in a brilliant blaze than be stifled in dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy planet. Man's chief purpose is to live, not exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. Use your time to fulfill the promise of a better future and make this world a better place for those who follow in your footsteps." We are so proud of your accomplishments, and again, I congratulate all of our graduates here assembled today and those here in spirit. Congratulations. We will now rise and join Kristen A. Pino in the singing of the Marshall University alma mater. The words are printed on page 1 of the program. After singing, please be seated until the platform party and faculty have recessed. Thank you very, very much.
Marshall, gracious alma
be